Hey, welcome back to Snapbolt Games. My name is Max, and we're actually playing some Magic Arena today. Usually I'm playing Magic Online, but Historic Horizons just came out today on Magic Arena, and now Historic is basically modern, so we're going to be jamming some Blue-Red Phoenix with some new cards. Before I get into this deck tech, let's shout out the channel real quick. It's youtube.com/snapbolt. There's a link to go to the channel below. If you like my content, please consider subscribing to the channel. It's the best way to support me. And again, go check out the channel. There's some historic content on there, not too much yet, but I want to be playing some more because this format I think is going to be pretty sweet. Lots of popper content, lots of modern content on there, and then there's limited cube drafts, everything. So again, if you like my content, please consider supporting by subscribing, and thank you so much. Now, Historic Horizons got pushed back by 2 weeks, but it's out today, as you can see here, and I'm going to be jamming Phoenix. I've been waiting to jam this deck. I've kind of just had this build in my mind, and we have Dragon Rage Channeler. I think this card is going to be everywhere in Historic. It just seems pretty pushed for Historic. Yeah, you can't Delirium like necessarily on turn 2. You don't have Thought Scour, but you can still Delirium pretty consistently, and this just like essentially turns itself on with Surveil, which is also really good in this deck. So for new cards, we have Dragon Rage Channeler, but then we also have Unholy Heat. This card just seems really, really nice because before, one of the problems with Blue Red Phoenix in Historic was that you had to play like 4 Pillar of Flame, and then sometimes you had to play, oh god, I'm blanking on the name now, the 1 mana Lightning Axe, the 1 mana, and then either pay 5 or discard a card, deal 5 damage to a creature. So yeah, that could discard Phoenix and stuff, but I hated discarding a card, even when it was Phoenix. So I think Unholy Heat is just going to take this deck to the next level, giving the deck actually a good removal spell, plus just a shock early is just really nice. So now I'm just trying a really light threat suite of only 4 Channeler, 4 Sprite Dragon, 4 Phoenix, and no other threats in the main. I think that's going to be pretty good because Channeler plus Sprite Dragon plus 4 Memory Lapse is just like pretty solid. And then we also have the Phoenix plan. Not that many discard outlets for Phoenix, but I like to play anyway, like where I'm casting all my ops and crash throughs and then waiting as long as possible on my lootings, trying to save them to discard these Phoenixes if I can. And the deck, I've only played like a match or two, not even a sideboarded match so far, but I think the deck is going to be great. 2 Soul Guide Lantern. I think this is the best artifact in order to help enable Delirium. I think other people are going to be on DRC, so we can take them off of Delirium, and we can just draw cards with this. I think this is where we want to be rather than Aether Spellbomb. I'm not sure. I haven't really looked at any like other like potential lists, what people are trying out as far as Blue Red Phoenix, but this is what I'm going to try out. No Stormwing Entity. Again, just a really light, really cheap threat package here. And look at how cheap like the costs are in this deck. Everything costs 1, except for a couple things that cost 2, and then Phoenix essentially costs 0 because you're just putting into play for free. But I'm excited to play some Arena, play some Historic here. I think this is gonna be awesome. Gonna be a nice change up from some Degen Popper and some Modern. So we'll play some Historic Modern here with basically like just like no Ragavans, but we get Phoenixes and Lootings instead. So this deck is really powerful. Also, back up to 4 Fabled Passage. Earlier, a lot of people were cutting down on this card, but you definitely want 4 to help enable Delirium as well. I'm not sure if Crashter is going to be good, but 1 mana draw is just reasonable. So still on 2 of those. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to play some ladder, and then we're going to just like kind of just be leveling up in ladder. And then if I see changes I want to do, I'll just be making changes as I go. So without further ado, let's just get right into it, and let's go to the first game. All right, round 1 starting here. We are not that high ranked right now. We're only gold. I haven't played that much arena. I kind of just do some daily quests once in a while. And the format, all the season also just reset recently, so we'll be ranking up here a little bit. I think this deck is going to be good. We're on the play. Yep, turn 1 Channeler. Let's go. Turn 1 Channeler, turn 2 Memory Lapse. Seems great. And this is going to be a change for me recording on Arena here, but we're gonna have some fun. We're just gonna jam some Historic, and I expect to be up against some brews with Historic Horizons just coming out. So we'll see. Maybe it's just Jeskai control still. All right, let's go pathway, blue, attack for 1, and then pass, so I can leave up memory lapse, and then I can just opt end of turn if I want to. We'll see. Obviously not turning on Delirium quite yet, but we're going to get to start surveilling and everything here, so. Alright. I don't know if this is like blue-white or Jeskai control, or if it's like blue-white auras without Luris or something. We just don't know yet. We'll find out soon enough, though. Stone Coil for 1. I mean, I can just let this resolve and then go like Unholy Heat this and opt this turn, and then maybe turn this on, and then save my lapse. I like this. I'll just let this resolve. This is just protection from multicolored, and I don't really care about a 1/1. Esper Sentinel. That is annoying, but I can just play both my spells in response and then just start paying the tax. So let's go opt, surveil. I don't really want to draw this right now, actually. I'm down to just graveyard it. I don't have any Phoenixes to go with it. I think that might actually be good enough because I can just hold up laps for like the next couple turns and just stop whatever they're doing. All right, I'll just draw that. And then we'll also respond to this with heat on this. And there's another heat. Nice, I'll draw that. Then I can just heat this if I want. Let's just play mountain and pass the turn, I think. Then I can just memory lap something, pay the tax if I want. There's a Blink Moth Nexus. I just don't know exactly what we're up against. Maybe just like they're trying to hammer time or something. I don't even know exactly. All right. I can just let this resolve and then Unholy Heat it and save both memory lapses. It's close. I think I like just lapsing it. Then I'm going to pay 1 for the Sentinel. Phoenix. Graveyard that. Could have even topped the Phoenix and just cast it. So let's let this resolve and then auto pay. Put that back on top. Just kind of time walk them with memory lapse. Classic. We still only have three types in yard now. So if we were able to surveil a land, we'll be good. Didn't get that one. So I could just Unholy Heat this right now and pay the tax and still have memory lapse up, but then they have a Steel Overseer. I like just ignoring the Esper Sentinel because I can pay the tax like relatively easily here. So let's just pass. This draw's not exactly working out, but we can do some stuff soon. This Esper Sentinel's annoying, but again, I'm kind of just trying to play around it. Steel Overseer. Wonder if I should just lapse this again. Just make them redraw it. I think I will. Then we'll just pay the tax. Iteration, that'll be on top for sure. Oh, yeah, this is only the first non-creature spell as well. Okay, so I can still Unholy Heat if I want. Nice. Esper Sentinel is good against this deck, but we have a lot of removal for it. Another Steel Overseer. All right, I think I'm just going to kill that instead of the Esper Sentinel. Just ignore the Sentinel. So they're just blue-white, like, artifacts, basically. Blue-white Metalcraft. They're drawing this again. Let's go Iteration, Surveil. I guess we have to pay for this. Yeah, let's pay. Let's graveyard that. Turn on the Channeler finally. And then Iteration to hand. We're not going to be able to get Phoenix back this turn, most likely. I guess I'm just going to go Iteration to hand. Exile the Looting and cast it. Because if I hit a 1-mana spell, maybe I can get this going. All right. Just leave that on top. I can get a Phoenix going here if I want. Not even sure if this is worth it. I don't want to discard Iteration basically no matter what. And then that means I can't get Phoenix going. And I have to just Looting again here. which is just not really ideal. Like I have to basically discard my entire hand in order to bring Phoenix back. I kind of feel like that's just not worth it. I'm just going to discard looting plus a land, and then maybe next turn to bring Phoenix back. Okay, this is still looking fine. Not sure if I played this game perfectly, but yeah, looking reasonable. Slowed them down a lot with the memory lapses, and they've slowed us down with the Sentinel. They're just going to hit for 3. They got it. All right, let's lead on iteration and we'll pay, or should we not pay? I think we should pay. Fabled Passage. I actually want to leave that on top here because, yeah, I want to be able to play 2 more spells. Nice. So I can take another Channeler. I might as well just take Passage plus Unholy Heat, and then that way I can bring back Phoenix. So let's just go Unholy Heat to hand, exile the Fabled Passage, and then Fabled Passage, crack it. Do I have another creature in yard? I don't. So I only have 4 card types right now, so I'm going to turn off my Channeler by doing this, unless I hit another creature. But I can turn it back on next turn with this Soul Guide Lantern, so let's just go, I guess, opt first. And I'll just graveyard this to keep the Channeler on. Oh. Man, I can't I can't surveil this because if I top I draw it, and if I bottom I just don't draw it obviously. I think I'm down to just draw this and then I can just cast it next turn. Or I can looting it away. This is looking really good for us. Alright, let's just top that as well. Alright, and then attack for 6. And then we're kind of just crushing this race at this point. Nice, looking solid, looking solid. And then they need to have something pretty good here. Ignoring the Esper Sentinel, I think, has been really solid. All right, that's a big thing. It's potentially a 4/4 if they activate this, but I'm still like crushing the race in the air. Oh, they can. Oh, they equipped there. Why didn't they equip here? Isn't that a huge mistake? Forgot they could equip. They could have equipped Lifelink. I mean, they can do that next turn, but we've already used 2 Unholy Heats. So I can go Sprite Dragon plus Soul Guide Lantern, crack it, and then pay the 1 on the Esper Sentinel. Not really in danger of dying. If they go activate this, play another artifact, they still only hit for not enough. I think I'm down to go Dragon into Soul Guide Lantern here. What? Do they auto draw a card? What the fuck? I wanted to pay. That was a glitch. That was so dumb. Wow, that's so annoying. It just auto let them draw a card with Esper Sentinel. I didn't click anything. Okay, that's really whack. Nothing I can do about that. Just gonna play this tapped and then attack with everything. That was just really, really unfortunate. Also, if they just equipped Nettlecyst to Vault Scourge, we might be losing this game. Wow. Yeah, so now they equip, and then do they have to not attack? Alright, so they're just blue-white, like, aggro. So maybe they just attack with these 2? Well, now they die, so I don't know what they just did. They just punted. I mean, again, we're at the lower levels here, so understandable. Okay. I mean, I guess we're gold, but still. Alright, this only hits white or blue creatures. I mean, they do have some of those. They have Esper Sentinel. And they have what's it called? They have the Court Homunculus, the 1 mana 2/2. I don't think Soul Guide Lantern does anything. Anger actually seems pretty good against them. Seems really good actually. Wonder if we want Chandra too. Chandra could just kill stuff, and it's good at like kind of playing around graveyard hate somewhat. I want all the removal. Memory Lapse is like it's good, but also most of their spells are pretty cheap. So maybe it's just not that good. Could just have two. I think it's better than Spell Pierce. Alright, let's just try it like this. A lot of times I like to side out like 1 or 2 looting, some Phoenixes, bring in more Planeswalkers, but I don't think this is the matchup for that. I mean, they're probably gonna have Soul Guide Lanterns, but we have ways to fight that. Maybe we need some hate in the sideboard, but this looks good. Just gonna try to anger them on 3 probably, and then Sprite Dragon. Oh yeah, we're gonna anger them for sure here. All right, I'm not gonna let them draw a card off that for sure, so just gonna play this tapped. Like hopefully they just have a hand where they go wide, and then I'll just anger on 3, and then crush them. Yeah, this is looking good. All right, let's go red, pass. I can always Unholy Heat or opt here. Probably just gonna end of turn opt. And then probably untap an anger. I could wait longer, but we'll see. We'll see. Just want them to play like 2 more creatures here or something. So they're playing some new cards. I expect everyone to be like trying out new cards. Okay, well, they get wrecked here. I guess it's a 3 for like it's like a kind of a 2 for 1 because this will draw a card off the anger. So let's just take 3 and then opt. Pay the tax. I think I do need to let them draw 1. Can't believe it auto drew them a card. Yeah, I'll draw the Unholy Heat. Crash through, that's fine as well. Just go anger, they draw, but then their board gets wrath. And then I can start like deploying all my other stuff. Oh, Tempered Steel. That makes sense. That makes sense. Okay. I think I want to go Sprite Dragon into opt here and try to hit a land. So let's do that. It's better than Iteration, I think, because I want to deploy this before I start playing all my spells. Just going for land. We hit. Nice. I'll just crash through right now. Start pumping this up. That was nice. Tempered Steel. That's actually a pretty huge threat. I mean, my Sprite Dragon's going to be a pretty huge threat too, and I'm not sure they really have removal for that in their deck. I mean, their deck is probably just like all artifact creatures, Tempered Steels, and that's it. Okay, well, their things get +4/+4. 1 mana 5/5 haste. Okay. Let's just start with Iteration. All right. Let's go Steam Vents to hand, exile Channeler, play Channeler. I can't even double Unholy Heat this yet. So I'll just play this tapped and attack for 4. They have like another Gingerbird. I might just lose to that. Unless I can turn these on quickly. Not sure I'm going to be able to. Nettle Cyst plus equip. Oh, I guess I don't know. I don't know if they'll equip. They only have 2 artifacts right now. Oh wait, they have 4? Oh, it's artifact and enchantment for Nettle Cyst. Oh wow. So they can make a 9/9. They're making the Gingerbread unblockable. Sure. Wonder if I want to fire off an Unholy Heat just to try to turn this on, and then I get 5 power. I get to surveil. I can just do these next turn. I should have enough mana. Let's just take 5 here. I mean, we might be able to just kill them next turn. Just wonder if I should fire off Unholy Heat for mana reasons, because I might want to hard cast Phoenix. So if I make 5 power, then I have 8 power, 9 power. Might just be a little bit short. I think I'm just going to untap. Fabled Passage. Doesn't quite get me Delirium yet, but it allows me to potentially hit it with these Unholy Heats. So I think I just go fetch and then just try to hit a creature on the Surveils and then pump up my Sprite Dragon with these Unholy Heats here. So let's go Mountain. I might need a stop right here in order to respond to my own Unholy Heat here. So let's just Unholy Heat this, Surveil. So that resolves. And then this I can let resolve to land. I don't want that, so it's graveyard that. Then play another one here. I can block this with Phoenix next turn. Surveil creature? Oh, Planeswalker, that'll do it. Nice. So I guess I could have targeted the other thing. That was wrong. So I should have been able to kill this, but I guess we're 1 damage short of killing them as well. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I kind of misplayed. Should be fine here. But yeah, still doesn't feel great. Yeah, Blink Moth. I guess they could chump potentially next turn. But then they need 2 blockers because all our creatures have flying. So I think they just lose. But yeah, that was a mistake. I should have Unholy Heated the other thing. If I block, they can chump here. So I think I'm supposed to go to 3. Hopefully I don't die. I want to have lethal though. Second Nettle Cyst. So why didn't they just play that and then equip? I think opponent just hasn't played that well here. Okay. That worked. Ranking up in the gold tier. First match win. Nice. 1-0. We'll play a couple matches here. Oh, look at that. Tons of prizes. All right, let's fire off another one. I don't have the Mastery Pass yet for this, but again, I mostly complete my daily quest, so my arena account's actually pretty stocked, and I haven't spent any money really. I think I spent $50 like 6 months ago or something, or a year ago when I didn't play arena for a while to get some cards. But other than that, I haven't spent any money, and I have a decent amount of gold and gems and stuff. Just drafted a lot. All right, we're on the play. Suppose we keep. Sand's not incredible, but I think it's fine. I could have just had Steam Vents tapped, but I want the option to Unholy Heat. Yeah, I'm just going to kill that. All right, let's just go basic. Then I can play my Sulfur Falls untapped, and I have Memory Lapse up here. I'm going to just kill that with Unholy Heat as well. An opt. Pillar. I think I can get rid of Pillar. I need like a threat here. All right, there we go. There's a Phoenix. It's actually not bad. I can go Channeler. I just have instant right now. And this doesn't really do anything. I think I'm just going to let that resolve. I don't have any ETBs. It just is literally a 1/2 flying lifelink against me. And I guess that's what they wanted. And now they start suiting it up. And I've already used 2 Unholy Heat. Alright, well, not going to Memory Lapse that. Alright, Soul Guide's actually not bad. And I could potentially turn on Channeler with it. I can Surveil again. I think I'm just going to graveyard this. I'll top it. Just get the core out of there. So right now I still only have 1 card type, so I'm pretty far off turning this on. I think I just play this tapped and pass the turn. I should have just memory lapsed the Hushbringer. I just forgot that they were auras. Kind of punted there. Cartouche. I think I'm going to let this resolve too. Against my better judgment here. I might just crack Soul Guide Lantern for mana purposes. I take Luris. Should probably just keep this around so I can deal with their Luris a little easier. No, I'm just going to draw. I need to draw cards. They have nothing in the yard now, and I can always just memory lapse this to buy time. And that can go graveyard. And then I kind of want to put this in the graveyard. Just drawing it is just not good enough. I'm just going to try to surveil a third type into the draw a land anyway. And a Fabled Passage. Sorry, pretty brutal here. I actually don't want to turn this on because then I have to attack. So it's just no attacks and turn. We'll just memory lapse Luris. I think we're losing now. If I had countered this, could have bought the time I needed. It's kind of disgusting. Just lapse that. I need to basically find Unholy Heat, like, stat for this. Second one? Okay, well, we're losing now. They didn't even need the core, geez. Alright, Unholy Heat off the top potentially gets me back in this. I guess I should fetch at this point. No, I think I bought him some cards. Could have even just chunked there to stop them from drawing. Alright. That was my bad. I mean, even if I countered the memory lapse the Hushbringer, I don't think it was looking like great for me. I think I want like pretty much all the interaction. I don't know how many blue spells they actually have, but probably enough. Soul Guide Lantern's also not bad. I think I'm going to go down on the Phoenix plan because, again, people usually are going to bring in Graveyard Hate for you. So I like to cut some lootings because they can kind of be card disadvantage. Maybe I just cut all the memory lapses because their spells are also so cheap in this matchup. Narset, also not bad. Kind of stops their combo. Anger, also not bad. Just not sure what I'm supposed to do in this matchup. I could go deep and just like cut Phoenix entirely, but I like having just like a couple more threats. Just cut Crash through, and I can play 2 Mystical Dispute. I can play 1 Chandra, I can play 1 Narset. I think all those are good. Can even cut 1 Channeler. Seems greedy. I can cut a land. I'm on the play. Just play 1 Chandra. It's not that good in this matchup. It's just attacks from a different angle. This matchup, I don't know. I think it's close. It would help a lot if we had something like a Brazen Borrower. Oh man, this is sketchy. We have double removal spell, but if we don't draw land immediately, we just are stuck on 1 land. We have like 3 or 4 1-mana plays though. And then if I hit a land for Spray Dragon, it's decent. I'm actually just going to keep. A land on top is probably a winning hand, and if I draw a land on the second turn, this could still be a winning hand because I have so many cheap stuff to do, cheap plays. All right, let's just kill that. Could have just left it up, but I like just using my mana. All right, well, sucks. They'll probably just play a 2-drop here. Did they keep the 1-lander too? No. Okay, well, now we get to just kind of blow them out. Okay. Well, we need a land, that's for sure. These fries are going to be good, though. Pretty much all their creatures are white. Take Lurrus? Sure. Okay, there we go, there we go. So now I just Sprite Dragon, because they're probably just going to go... I guess they can go cast Lurrus, cast like... They'll probably cast a creature. I think I just need to Sprite Dragon attack here. And then keep killing their stuff. No land. Don't do it. Ah, they did it. Okay. Oh, and they Selfless Savior. That is a problem. I forgot about that. I should have left up Fry then. Wow, I punted. I'm punting here pretty hard. Now they get to. They have this combo going. Jeez. I have to just attack for one and pass. Let them lure us again. Oh man, that feels pretty bad. I can like end of turn Fry and then untap and Fry or something. Yep. I needed to just not play Sprite Dragon Pass with Fry up, and they probably would have done this anyway. Okay, have to let this happen. Oh. No, yeah, they would have just sacked Selfless Savior anyway. It doesn't really do anything, but I guess I should Fry now. They're not attacking. All right, let's just take it. They're gonna sack regardless of what I do. So then they're gonna sack, and then I can untap and Fry again. It's not great, but at least then they don't have much of a board. They have a lot of cards though. All right, how greedy do I get? Do I go for the looting into Fry? I don't think so. Oh wait, oh they just let it happen? I didn't even expect them to do that. Wow. All right, now we'll go for looting then. That was so weird. They didn't sack Savior for Lurrus. Why? Doesn't really make sense, but sure. All right, so one card type right now, instant sorcery. I can go discard Planeswalker Artifact. And then just play a channeler that's turned on. Seems good. Oh, this comes in tapped. I thought that was a Spirebluff Canal. Attack. So we have Spell Pierce or Mystical Up. This is still looking reasonable. Thought I could cast this again. I thought that was just a Spirebluff Canal. Alright. Can't counter that. Can counter that. They might have a Spell Pierce of their own. Wouldn't be surprised. And they do. And they still have Selfless Savior to save this now. Maybe they're thinking like this can't stop Fry or something. I'm not really sure. They'll probably just sack here though. Let's go iteration into Fry if we can. Could have just played Channeler, but okay. We can't, but we can Unholy Heat. I think I'm just not going to take this land at all. I'll just take Spell Pierce into hand and then exile Unholy Heat, cast it. Yeah, let's do that. Maybe this deck should have some Spell Pierces main. We do have Delirium right now. Making Sprite Dragon to 6/6 is also nice. They should sack. Oh, they don't? They really want to just hang on to this. Wow. I'll attack. Functioning on a really low land count here. Second Selfless Savior and Alseid. Why are they never sacking Savior? Okay. They hit for 3. So now I can go play Channeler, play Fry, Surveil. I just get value out of the Surveil. Seems fine. Also get a 3/3 down. I wonder if I should just not fry right now. Leave up all my counters. I'll just attack for 6. Do I need to attack for 7? No, I'd rather leave up multiple counter spells this turn. I can probably still have lethal next turn. I might need to block though. We'll see. All that glitters. So I might need to chump here. All right, results. Oh, and then give it pro red. So this is just, oh, if they sack this. So, okay, I can just Mystical Dispute this. And then if they sack this to give pro red, then I fry in response. And then they sack this, but then they only have 6 damage. Because that makes it smaller. Oh, it makes it a 5/5. So now I just go for the fry. Yeah, okay. Narset. I mean, they just concede. So if they gained, why did they think they can? Why were they never using Selfless Savior? This just says the damage can't be prevented. Oh no, it doesn't even say that. It just can't be countered. But indestructible doesn't mean it's countering it. Interesting. They didn't show any graveyard hate. And they have to have Soul Guide Lantern, right? I guess Anger is really good now that they've showed like so many 1/1s that I can just anger those away if they have multiples. I think Mystical, while they do have blue spells, I'm not sure. Also not sure about Narset and Chandra. It might just be too slow. I can cut like, again, one Channeler, just be like the control deck. I just play 2 Mysticals. They do have a fair number of blue spells, like fair number of blue enchantments, and they have their own counter spells. Let's just go down 1 Mystical, because a lot of their spells are white. I think Anger is actually pretty good here. I played pretty badly this match so far, but I feel like so far in this recording, both of our opponents have played pretty bad. Oh, man. We're on the draw. We need to draw actual blue source. We really only have 2 spells that we could cast. We have Iteration though. Sprite Dragon is what I want in this matchup. I'm going to keep. I don't know. This might be wrong. All right, let's just try to get value out of them. And they might play an enchantment on this. Just take 1 here, then Unholy Heat this later. Okay, that's going to be a problem. Land? Blue source? Technically was a blue source. I think I'll just get the Lantern down rather than leaving up Unholy Heat. Let's just exile that. Pass. I feel like Cerulean Drake is just gonna, wow, they still have this in the deck. I feel like Cerulean Drake is just likely to kill me here. Don't really have many answers to it. Don't have the Brazen Borrower anymore. Okay, that is good. Let's go Iteration to hit lands. Nice. Now let's go... I have to just take both lands, I think. It's pretty close. I mean, I could take the Iteration plus a land here. It is certainly close. I think I want to just take land, and so I can like guarantee double Sprite Dragon after I anger. So let's just go like this. I can draw a card with Lantern here, or leave up Unholy Heat, and that'll turn on our Delirium actually. Only 4 cards in yard, nice. Okay. Again, this anger looking pretty good. They're just probably going to take Luris. Oh, they have all the glitters. Okay. I guess I need to just like Unholy Heat this because this can protect one of their other things from anger anyway if they have 1 mana up, which they're going to have. So just Unholy Heat this. And we can untap an anger. And then just try to get there with massive Sprite Dragons. Hope they don't draw much. We have Soul Guide Lantern for Luris. It's a 4/4. We might be able to win. It's going to be tough, though. Channeler. All right, let's go Anger. Shock. Channeler. We can turn that on next turn with Soul Guide Lantern. Or whenever. I guess they haven't taken Luris yet. They have a 4/4. We're at 11. It's going to be real tough here, especially if they draw any enchantment. All right, they hit us to 7. Tapped land. Not ideal, not ideal. So I can play both Sprite Dragons, hit for 3. And I mean, I guess I could crack Lantern to exile their yard and then hit for 5. Then they have a Luris in hand with like essentially an empty yard right now. I think that's actually the line. I could get greedy and just draw a card right now, but I want to exile their graveyard anyway. All right. Let's do it. Might be losing this match here. They have to basically have nothing at this point. Maybe if I chain like a bunch of spells, like if I draw like an Opt, Core Spirit Dancer, Land, Luris, pass. Okay. Can't block this with any of my creatures, and we just drew a land, so we die. Could have fried on upkeep. I think I was supposed to do that. I played pretty loose, so I deserve to lose this, I guess. Damn. So close, so close. Looks like we're going down to the 1-1 bracket. Sure. Cerulean Drake got us. I kind of want like a Brazen Borrower in the 75. I think I just misplayed this match, but maybe I was going to lose anyway. It's tough to say. All right, we're still in the gold tier. Let's keep fighting. Killing some of our opponent's creatures. Oh, let's open this pack. Got rewarded a pack? Okay, sure. It's just 1/8 or whatever of the way towards another wild card. That's all that really matters, right? Right, let's go to the deck. Maybe even get a Borrower in the main deck. Not sure. Brazen Borrower. So if I add one to the main deck, what am I cutting? Like a Crash Through? It's making Phoenix a little worse to cut a 1-mana spell. I could go down to 3 Memory Lapse. That's what I used to play in Phoenix just because it's a reactive spell. It's not really good with Phoenix. And I like this. Let's try this. Just go 1 Borrower main. I used to like that. Just gives you like random outs to stuff like that. Cerulean Drake and just a blue creature. It's also just another threat, which is nice in the deck. So let's just try the 1 Borrower here. We've been on the play every time, I think. All right, turn 1 Channeler. We have the Soul Guide Lantern. We have like basically everything we need. See what we're up against here. Yeah, I just felt like I played pretty poorly overall in that last match. Okay. I think I'll just start with Opt, I suppose. That digs me the deepest. Let's put that in the graveyard for sure. Looting. I think I can graveyard, or I guess I can just bottom that. Don't have any phoenixes yet. I guess it's actually still decent with, to discard some extra lands. I guess I'll top it. I'll top that too. Oh, I have to? Okay, well, I can just exile instant because I'll be casting another one. They just went Dragon Skull Summit pass, so it might just be black, red, like mid range with like. Oh, okay. Resolves. Probably just going to leave my turn on iteration here. This card's busted. All right, this is not good. Just go looting to hand. Exile falls, play it. Pass the turn. Just going to crack Soul Guide Lantern to draw more cards and then start playing these spells. Okay, resolves. They look to just be black, red, mid range. Surprised they didn't just cast a Bonecrusher giant here. Blood Crypt tapped. Let's draw. Might have needed this to like exile the yard, but I also want to draw cards. Double iteration, perfect. All right, we have 5 card types. Love it. So Unholy Heat to hand, exile Channeler, play Channeler, play tap land. Nice. 1 mana, 3/3 flying, go. That also surveils on every spell. That's nice. Are they like the most mid-rangey of the mid-range decks? Wow, Bog in the main? Okay, well, that turned off our stuff, but when you have triple iteration, you just keep drawing cards. Let's just exile the Fabled Passage, play that. I think I will crack right now and then looting. If we hit some Phoenixes here, we can get them back. Okay, we don't. Let's discard land. And maybe just looting here. Just hold these memory lapses. Seems decent. If they play Bonecrusher Giant, I don't know if I lapse it. Probably just wait and then Unholy Heat. I don't want to give them another stomp. It's actually kind of annoying. Let's just let this resolve. We can memory lapse something else. All right, let's just go to our turn. And second pillar. I don't want to double pillar that if I can help it. Just lead Crash through. And then I think just past the turn, I can take a hit off Bonecrusher here. So right now we have just sorcery land, no instants yet. There's Phoenix. Okay, there's a Phoenix. So now we're going to get Phoenix back, I think. Let's go looting. And then I can even discard instant creature and then Unholy Heat this. Yep, looks good. Do I need to discard instant even? I have sorcery land, and then I'll have creature, and then I do need instant. Okay. This looks good. I take 2 off the Bonecrusher, but then I get to just get Phoenix back right now. And is that the 4th iteration? I think it is. I'm pretty sure it is. Wow, 4 iterations. I guess we've drawn half our deck, but still in the top half of the deck. Top 27 cards. That's pretty unreal. Sure. That's like so fine. I guess they can play another Bog. They don't. 4th iteration must be nice, right? Borrower to hand. Exile Sulfur Falls. Let's go play it. Play Looting. Could double pillar them and then just bring back Phoenix, leave up Memory Lapse. I could just not have Memory Lapse up here and just play Looting. I think I like that. Because I need to play another spell. I could just discard land, play Pillar. Because again, I do need to play one more actual spell. Yep, I like this. Just keep all the gas, and then I'll have the Memory Lapses for later. This brings back Phoenix again. Sweet. Feel more comfortable in this matchup for sure. Yeah, this is just totally fine. They're just willing to just kill Phoenix over and over. So they're just like black-red cards. I mean, all the cards they've played are like totally reasonable cards. Just don't know like how the deck really like fully comes together. All right, let's go lead on opt. Bottom. Looting, it's a nice one. Discard a land plus Memory Lapse. And then go Dragon plus Pillar You. Bring back Phoenix. Attack for 5. I still have this Brazen Borrower sitting here. I'll probably just cast Soul Red Lantern. Trigger this one more time. Had to use these pillars like for no value essentially, but obviously we're using it just to bring back Phoenix, which is solid. Main deck Bog though. It's kind of annoying. Maybe opponents fed up with our quad iteration draw. They just left. No, they're here. They're here. All right. Let's go Lantern. Want to trigger this. Am I exiling? I guess Bonecrusher Giant because it's their only creature. Ooh, I wonder if they're just a DRC deck themselves. I would not be surprised. Okay, they eliminate. That's actually a pretty sick card. I don't think I've seen that one. Let's just get Bonecrusher. And then go to combat. Attack for 3. We're down to 2 cards in hand. And yes, we're at 2 cards also, but we can crack this for a card, and both these are solid. Plus we have looting. Okay. Well, that's annoying, but they go to 5. And I still have this looting, again, to discard extra lands. Wow, they take Memory Lapse? Kind of surprised by that. Oh, cast Valky, take the Brazen Borrower? Sure. And then they can change into Brazen Borrower with Valky and block Phoenix. But then I get Brazen Borrower back. Okay, sure. Just crack, draw, and then probably looting. Discard some lands. Sprite Dragon. Alright, let's just go Sprite Dragon into looting. I'm not going to offer the trade for the Brazen Borrower Valky here. Their deck is cool, honestly. Just going to attack with just Phoenix. See, if I attack with both and they switch and block here, they do go down to 2. And then I get Brazen Borrower back. Alright, I think it's just worth, actually. Yeah, so they activate, and then they probably block Sprite Dragon. But I think this is actually just worth to get in for 3 damage. Oh, they block Phoenix. Maybe they have another Eliminate or something. Or they can draw into it. But now I just can end of turn Brazen Borrower. That represents lethal. Oh, wow, brutal. I had the other one in hand. Jeez. Alright, well that was good. It's another lethal threat. So they're just black-red removal with like Bone Crushers and Valky. Okay. So definitely gotta go down on the side on the graveyard plan in this matchup. They have Bog. They're gonna have more graveyard hate post board. We didn't see any DRCs, but they could certainly have them. I don't think I need pillars here. I guess they do have Valky, but I don't know if I need them. We'll see. I think I do want the Planeswalkers. Maybe I was gonna say maybe not Narset, but it seems pretty good. They could have Croxa, but let's just go to one Soul Guide Lantern for Delirium purposes. Play some Spell Pierces. Don't think I want Anger. Memory Lapse actually seems pretty good as well. I think this looks good. Narset at least is like, it's most of the time gonna come down. I'm gonna minus, and it's gonna trade for at least a card or soak some damage and draw a card. They don't really draw cards, but it's still good against like their removal plan, just being a Planeswalker threat. And maybe I should just be playing like a Planeswalker in the main deck, because that's just a good card type for Delirium. Just to have like one or two. Could have like one Narset, one Chandra in the main. I don't hate that actually. This is a lot of lands, but this hand is good, so just gonna snap keep it. We have Channeler. Okay. We have an Opt, we have a Borrower. I mean, our Channeler is most likely just gonna die. Valky. Sure. Did I... How do I view my sideboard? I don't even know. Can I not view my sideboard? Whatever. Drew Unholy Heat, which is actually pretty nice. Right, let's just go Sulfur Falls, Opt, Surveil, probably just Unholy Heat now. Another Unholy Heat. I think I actually want more threats. Just graveyard that. Pop that for sure. Don't know if I should do this now. I mean, I can't turn on Delirium no matter what. Because I get to attack for one. It's a small thing, but Memory Lapse. I think I'm down to graveyard this too. I'm going to be tapping out here most likely. Okay, sweet. Another artifact you could play one of would be like a Bomat Courier, because it sacrifices to itself. Okay, they just replay Valky. That was a reason to wait, but now we just get to iteration unless they have Thoughtseize. Don't do it. Don't do it, opponent. Okay. Push I'm fine with. Just did not want to see Thoughtseize there. Another iteration. Perfect. The best card in this matchup for sure. And they're just trying to like one for one us. Oh wow. Love it. All right, let's go Channeler to hand. Exile the Unholy Heat. And kill the Valky. So I guess they're just a 4 Valky deck. Which they've just still been just one for ones at this point. And they do have Croxa, okay. Probably bringing back in the second Soul Guide Lantern. And it's like another blue source, so I'd rather just have Island, I suppose. And that's 4 card types, nice. Here's Soul Guide Lantern, that is kind of disgusting, honestly. Let's just go Channeler into iteration into Soul Guide Lantern, because I could hit a land off the iteration in order to play this. Graveyard that. Now I think I'm just taking... Oh, I can only take one of these cards and then play land. This is still fine, obviously. Take iteration to hand, then play the Fabled Passage, and then play the Soul Guide Lantern, exiling the Croxa. Nice. Just, this is a got him for sure. The one Soul Guide Lantern. Let's get that out of there. Dragon Rage Chandler is just so good. It just really sculpts your draws like so well. What? Oh, I thought I could attack. I was like, why didn't I attack? But I just played it. That's why I just did so much other stuff after that. Wow, and I can just like have another iteration. I mean, we're drawing a lot of iterations in this matchup, so it's got to be good. All right, Sprite Dragon into iteration here. I like. Then Narset to hand. Exile the Falls. Just getting so much card advantage off these iterations. And then I'll just probably crack this. Not really that scared of like another Croxa or something. Thought sees me. Okay, resolves. I don't really care what they take either way. Yeah, expected them to take Narset. And then cast Murderous Rider, sure. Let's draw. Another land. That's a lot of lands. I mean, if I bounce this, they can just recast the Swift End, which I don't love. I think I like just going land, cast Phoenix, attack for 5, leave up Petty Theft. I don't get to cast Borrower, but this is still looking decent. Just let them hit here. Again, I don't really want them to Swift End either of my creatures. And I don't necessarily care about that. Okay, there's second Croxa. Just discard land here. They need one more card in yard to escape it. The Devil. Okay. Can always Petty Theft the Croxa after they escape it. Another land. That sucks. Let's go play this tapped. Now they're gonna Croxa. Like, almost, they have to. They get to go up to 7 here. So what if I bounce this? No, then they get to recast. But then if they cast Swift End, they go down to 3, and then I have 2 lethal threats. I'm actually gonna do it. This could be bad if they have like multiple removal spells, if they drew another cheap removal spell. Otherwise, I get to have 2 lethal threats if they cast Swift End. So now I think now they're just dead. Nice. So they Croxa and then concede. Nice. That was a sweet matchup. Rank up. Gold tier 1. Let's go. Let's get out of gold. I'm going to keep playing some more matches, but I think I'm going to go grab another Stella, and I'll be back. This is like the slowest one to level up, especially when a lot of times you exile. Oh, Fortifying Drought. Nice. What do we have in the store? Free gold? No. Okay, I'll be back for the next round. All right, welcome back. We're against turn 3 Tron. Love it. I'm a big Tron player, which you may or may not know. And this is actually a snap keep. This is the power of DRC and Faithless Looting, but we get to DRC and then we can Surveil. We do have a tap land on one. I thought this was Sulphur Falls again. I mean, I thought it was Spire Bluff. Well, kind of got bailed out there. Glacial Fortress, no Luris, main deck Relic. Okay, that's pretty good. So now, I think I want to lead on Crash Through. Crash Through plus Surveil here. I can play an island, but this Sulphur Falls is going to be tapped. Brazen Borrower. I think that's actually a good one to draw because it's a threat that doesn't use the graveyard that I can cast next turn. Just play this attack for 1. This Relic is gonna crush us. This is probably just high control with Relic. Not really sure yet, but I mean, oh, they don't have a land? That's pretty bad for them. I guess they could easily have like a lightning helix here or something. We got really lucky with the draws considering. Just gonna attack for 1 and pass. Okay, they do have helix. Okay, there's nothing I can do. Just gonna end of turn Brazen Barber. Think. Hope they miss on lands. Hopefully they just like crack Relic to look for a land here. And if not, I can just like try to play quote unquote fair. They probably have multiple helixes here, but obviously not going to try to bounce Relic. That's such a bad play. All right, let's just lead on attacking the helix that. Okay. Now I know I can resolve iteration, which I really want to hit lands. Okay, nice. I think I just want to take both lands here. And I'll probably just crash through as well, and I'll probably just play Spire Bluff this turn. So let's just take Fabled Passage to hand. We'll have more mana for next turn. And then just go play Crash through, play Spire Bluff. Sure. Now we're kind of starting to outspell their Relic as we're getting to more mana. And also discard this land to looting. And they're just missing on lands pretty hard here. They're like, nice. Yep, that sucks. I mean, they can crack Relic whenever they want. Ooh, it's so tempting to memory lapse their laps. I think I'm going to. If I can find Phoenix here, it's going to be really good. And then this way they don't draw another land. Should I give them a nice? No, I'm not that guy. No Phoenix. Okay. Let's just go. I can discard Fabled Passage plus Pillar. I think Pillar is bad. All right, let's look for Phoenix and then try to get it into play here. I think I need to just top that. Feel like it's good enough. It's farther away from us Phoenixing, but I'm going to go for Phoenix right now. Just try to find one in the top 2. This might just be a bad play, but we might just draw lands anyway. Can discard this other looting potentially. All right, let's just discard looting plus looting here, I think. They're drawing Memory Lapse, so I'll probably just lead on Sprite Dragon, and then if they lapse that, I'll just cast Iteration. All right. Sure, whatever. It's all 4 lootings for us. And then they just pop Relic. Love to see it. They're trying to hit land if they miss here. Yeah, that's pretty brutal. Now I'll throw out the nice. Say, oh, thanks. It didn't let me throw out the nice. Thanks. That's pretty funny when they say nice there. Okay, let's go. I guess I want a Fabled Passage. So let's go Dragon to hand, exile Passage. This way it puts another card in the graveyard and another card type that is. Fabled Passage, Island, Sprite Dragon. For 3. You can just hardcast this Phoenix next turn. I mean, this game is they can see they missed another land. They were pissed. Turn 3 Tron didn't get to Tron on 3. All right, Pillar pretty bad. Might need some number of Unholy Heats, but I'd rather have a bunch of counter spells and Planeswalkers. I think Fry is just better than Unholy Heat because it can kill the Planeswalkers like pretty much just as well. I want like 2 Unholy Heat. Let's go down. They already showed a main deck Relic, so let's go down on the Phoenix plan. I guess just Crash Throughs is just like the classic side out just because it's the worst card. It's like 1 red draw. It doesn't really do anything. I think Soul Guide Lantern can be good against them too. We don't know if they're using the graveyard at all. Maybe not because they have Relic, but they still could be. They still could be for sure. Like Brazen Borrower. I think I like 2 Phoenix, 2 Looting, because Looting is good in the long game just to discard lands, and Phoenix can still just be cast, and they can potentially come back. Um. Oh, this is 3 Unholy Heat. Let's go to 2. And then I can go to 1 Soul Guide Lantern. Can cut even an Opt, excuse me, or a Memory Lapse, but Lapse actually seems pretty good in this matchup. Let's just go to 1 Soul Guide Lantern. Just the fact that they had Relic main makes me feel like they likely don't have like Mizzix Mastery or Gear Hulk or something like that. So we also got kind of built out with that last keep. Sacred Foundry tapped. All right, Pathway, go. Maybe they just try to jam like a Search Burst Counter or something here. Just get Spell Pierced. Well, Spell Pierce that too. It's annoying against all my Delirium and stuff. All right, I can jam this. They might like tap out to kill it, and then I can just resolve Narset or Iteration. Probably Narset. Okay, well they're resolving that. This is still, I think, really good for me because I'm just going to resolve Narset, which is just so good in the matchup. I might also just Narset and not even minus quite yet. Castle Vantress tapped. All right. Let's just go another blue source, Narset, pump this up, and then just attack for 2 and not minus yet. I don't want this just to get helixed quite yet. I'd rather just leave it in play. It's kind of annoying for them. Yeah, I guess they could have their own, whatever it's called, the 2 mana, deal 5, can't be countered. But I think it's worth it just to leave it at 5 so it doesn't just get helixed. This way, if they have like ops and stuff, they get it, this is annoying for them. They're going to helix like the Sprite Dragon now. They Prismari command it. Okay. Nothing I can really do about that. Could just minus now, see what we find. It's still going to be a 2-for-1 even if they helix it at this point. Let's take another Narset. Sure, that's annoying for them to see. Iteration. Could have just passed with like Bar up here, but oh wow, they have Mystical? Kind of surprised by that. Okay. I'll just shock here. Can leave up Petty Theft / both ops. They're just going to play a 5 fairy. If they do, they helix. Okay. I have another one, but they could counter this one. Just play some ops. Look for like a counter backup, or that's good. I'll still play this, even though it could trigger my Sprite Dragon. I have plenty of other stuff to trigger Sprite Dragon. Let's just bottom that for now. All right. Just going to lead on Sprite Dragon, attack, and then probably just play Narset. Because they don't know about this land. Guess I'm getting Mountain at this point. Could have also just left up Brazen Bar and just kept the Narset in hand as like a threat, but I like just jamming, I think. All right, Lapse is fine. I'm fine with Lapse. Just trigger Sprite Dragon again next turn. Portable Hole the Sprite Dragon. Okay. It feels like I want some amount of artifact destruction post board. How do I just jam Narset again? I think so. I think that's better than Chandra. And if they have another counter, I'd rather this get countered. But they're just cycling Triome. Looks good. I'll minus. If they want to helix it, it's fine. And Memory Lapse, it's actually a pretty good hit with 2 mana. Really good hit. Could bounce the Portable Hole end of turn just to get some damage in. I don't like that. It's minus. Nice. It's an easy iteration, I think. Cast it. Wow, okay. So let's go lapse into hand, exile channeler, play channeler. Still with Narset on 1, which is annoying. Double lapse. Yeah, this is just looking great. I can scry. The Helix that. I can lapse this, but I think I'd rather just let this resolve and like lapse things like their 5 fairy and stuff. Also, I can Chandra with a lapse backup when I draw one more land. Not that land. Do I want to looting? I think I'm just going to play this tapped and pass. Because I have these laps and I have this Brazen Borrower as well. So if they play anything, I can go like Petty Theft into cast Borrower. I can also cast a Memory Lapse, which likely is what I'll do. But if they don't do anything, I'll probably bounce this, play Borrower. Just use my mana. I could have just played Borrower and not bounced the Portable Hole, but I think I actually just like this. Get in for a little extra damage. I guess if they like Wrath me, this could be worse, but I have double lapse, so not too worried about that. All right, let's go play Chandra, lapse any counterspell, and then attack. Yeah, I'm totally fine with them redrawing Memory Lapse. The lapse mirror matchup. I really don't buy any card styles on Arena, just because I like to save my stuff to get value. They're just scrying right now. Okay. They're going to put the lapse on bottom. Then they're just going to have to Portable Hold the Sprite Dragon or have Wrath. Fry. It's actually... Oh, I can't cast it, obviously. I thought it was a scry or something. Okay. And I think I'll just hold the Spire Bluff to discard to this looting. I have plenty of mana. This is pretty tough to answer, though. They do have Wrath. Now it's annoying that I bounced that. Okay. Still looking fine, though. There's a NATO. Okay, that could actually do it. Start by plus Chandra, exile. Deal damage. Oh my god, I just punted. I forgot about Narset. Oh god. Oh no. Alright, well, discard 2 cards. Jeez. 1 mana, discard 2 cards. And then exile the Chandra. Oh no. Now I'm going to lose. They even have Portable Hole backup. I was just hoping they'd go for Hardcast NATO. Oh man. And I didn't even have the lapse for this now. If I had like lapse for that, I get to Chandra plus, potentially draw an extra card or hit for more damage. Maybe they Hardcast NATO. There's Anger. Okay. Feels pretty bad. This is a throw for sure. Oh man. Okay. Now they're just going to end of turn NATO, attack Narset. Oh, they're going to scry instead. Okay, I really want to concede at this point, but I could still potentially win, so I won't. Alright, well, iteration is good against Narset. Alright. Mystical into hand. Exile Sprite Dragon. Cast it. I should have played this first. They can make a big NATO here, but nothing I can do. They can only make a 5/5, so I can still Unholy Heat or fry that. This just feels so bad. Like that, having that Memory Lapse could have made all the difference in this game. This matchup is definitely close, but I don't think it's great. I don't think it's that bad either, but why are they just not casting a big shark? I don't get it. Maybe they're just trying to play around something. I don't really know. They're trying to like maybe like wait till they have like counter backup or something. There's a relic, sure. 34 cards. We'll just try to get some more information at this point. Pretty big punt here. Right. They have Portable Hole and Anger. I just really want to concede, but I'll hold back. All right, they pop Relic. They turn my Channeler into a 1/1. They have 33 cards to our 28. And there's Ardenvale. I still don't want to like hardcast NATO. All right, we'll just get him in game 3. What's our clock at? Plenty of time. All right, well, those would have been good earlier in the game. Let's just pass. If they NATO here, I'll just concede. Okay. I think even, who knows? Because I mean, that Chandra Plus could have made all the difference. It's really tough to say, honestly. I don't know how many relics they have, but if they have relic, it's just so good against Phoenix. Might try to be a little bit more aggressive. No, I mean, just fight them with our counter spells and planeswalkers. I still like this game plan. Let's just go game 3 here. And then I kept the mystical. Did I not have the extra mana to cast the lapse there? I'm not really sure. Unlike our opponent though, I won't salt off. The nice. We're on the play. Okay. 1 drop into 2 drop. Let's go. Looks good. Can just hit for 2 on turn 2. There's a Phoenix. It's actually not bad. Just a hard cast. Then if they rest in peace, that's fine. It's not great for me, but they don't. Iteration. I'd rather just leave up Lapse here. If they Helix, I think I just let that resolve. They just do nothing. I feel like they have memory lapse. Okay, Narset. What I could do is play land, then play iteration, and if they lapse it, I can lapse their lapse. I think I'm gonna do that. It's kind of a weird play, but I think it keeps me the safest. Mystical Dispute. I think I'll top that. So they do lapse after the Surveil. I could have cracked first. Probably should have. Memory lapse your lapse. Phoenix to the graveyard. I already have 1 to cast, so it'd be kind of slow. Then we just take Opt to hand, and then we don't get value. But we do turn on Channeler, so that's pretty good. They're down to 10. They need land, Wrath of God, basically. Iteration. Okay, they're in trouble. This was like a pretty sick draw. I think my line actually worked out, even though we didn't get full value off that iteration. We're just like representing so much damage here. Portable Hole. Okay, that's good. Can still just hit for 6 damage. Or I can just play a Narset, and that's... I'd probably rather just play Narset. Can threaten lethal, but I I also have a Phoenix in the yard. All right, we're opting. We're opting. Unholy Heat. Let's graveyard that because I don't really have targets for that yet. Soul Guide Lantern. Bottom that. Channeler is just so good. I'm going to try to bring back Phoenix here. I get so many looks. Just getting the reactive spells. Brutal. That was unfortunate. Didn't hit the third spell with like 6 looks because each opt we had Surveil plus Scry, and we just didn't get there. Wow. Got wrecked, that's for sure. Still have Mystical up though. Alright, so if I Phoenix, they're going to lapse it. I think I'd rather Narset though. They're going to lapse it and I'm going to Mystical. They could easily have lapse plus Mystical, but so be it. Just sucks I didn't bring back Phoenix last time, but I'm gonna minus here. If they have Helix, they have to use it on this. Cycle NATO for 0. Okay. Oh, it's an easy take. And we have 6 mana. Still looking fine here. They're down to 7. They kind of need, I was going to say, they kind of need to play a removal spell on this now. Activate. It's an easy iteration. If they counter this, I'll probably play Chandra over Phoenix. Because then this is harder to answer. All right, let's go. I think Memory Lapse is better than Mystical Dispute. So let's go Memory Lapse. Oh yeah, then Exile Channeler. I thought I messed up here for a second. I was like, oh no. Play Channeler. Pass the turn. It's like, do you want to Unholy Eat your own thing? It's like, no thanks. And they're going to NATO here. I'll just, if they do, yeah, they NATO for 4. I'll just Unholy Heat it. Get to Surveil. That can go. They have a lot of mana at this point. Where's the nice from the opponent? I haven't seen a 5 fairy yet. I mean, I assume they have at least 2 copies. Like, they have to, right? Slaps that. Graveyard that. Could have just let that resolve and then gone like Chandra plus Lapse or something, but I like this. Anger, okay. Probably just gonna play Chandra here. I guess I'm going pay 2 life plus I mean, I can bounce one of these, but it doesn't really do anything. I think I'd rather just Borrower. And good thing I played the land first. Play a 3-1. There's a Tef. Okay. And they plus, sure. But we have Narset out. Wonder if they forgot about that. Alright. Let's thin before we plus Chandra. Okay, didn't end up mattering. Let's just go Phoenix, and I think I'm just gonna go face. Looks like they don't have anything. Nice. Able to beat Jeskai after a punt in game 2, so that felt good. I'll probably play at least one more here. I'm gonna take a quick break, and I'll be back for the next round. See you in a minute. Draw against, excuse me, against Jeskai was pretty sick there. Let's go and let's just search for destroy artifact cards that I own or don't own, because who knows what's legal in historic. Literally nobody knows. Destroy artifact. What are our options for this deck? A Braid probably gonna be the best option without even looking at the other ones. Obviously better than Shatter. There's Shield Breaker, which is a 1 mana destroy artifact. I don't even know if I really need a Braid, but seems like it's like going to be a pretty decent sideboard card. Like if there is artifact decks, plus it's just another removal spell that deals 3. Like I don't hate like 2 copies in the sideboard, but what can we cut? Can't even like see the sideboard. Is this literally how you have to do it? It's like trash. Don't know if we're gonna need 4 Soul Guide Lantern. Wait. Okay, cut 1 and then can cut a Fry, can cut 1 Mystical Dispute. I like the Chandras and the Narsets. It's like a nice like B plan, like when you want to go down on the graveyard plan. Just cut a Mystical, I think. God, this is like the worst setup. Jesus. Okay. Let's try 2 Abrade. Oh, I have to craft them. You can tell I'm a pretty arena noob here. All right, let's go. 2 Abrades in the board, and let's run it. Nice. This has been pretty fun, honestly. Dog comes in to check. Say goodnight. Let's go. Pretty expected metagame. We haven't played against any like real Historic Horizon, like that many Historic Horizon decks, I should say. But I guess that's also to be expected because the set literally just came out today, so a lot of people don't even know or don't even have all the cards, especially at the lower levels here. But I might be playing some more Historic Horizons moving forward and ranking up to Mythic. I'm pretty confident we can get there. All right, let's just play Channeler, tap land, and hit for 1. If no wrath from the opponent. Wow, dismiss blue white control. I wonder if this is just like Gab's list. All right, let's lead on opt into looting, and then get a Phoenix back here and just hit for like infinite damage. Let's get that out of here. I do need another land. Top. And then let's just go crash through into looting. Yeah, I like it. Maybe we can hit another Phoenix here. This is good, but I want to just keep looking for Phoenixes, I think. Nice. Now we have like, can even look for 1 more Phoenix. I think I'll put that in the yard. Go towards Delirium as well. Is that Delirium? I think it is. Nice. And then discard Phoenix plus a land. Yep, I think this is fine. We're going to be hitting for 12 here. Jeez. Cycle NATO for 0. Yeah, this draw is nuts. Dragon Rage Channeler is just so good. I guess they can Wrath us, and then we can likely just bring back Phoenix again. I bet you this is just Gabriel Nassif's blue light control. I don't know about it. I mean, it can be anybody's blue light control. Who knows? Yeah, there's Day. Opponent with all the styles. Jeez. All right, well, we just get to bring back double Phoenix here. Again, I like to wait on looting generally. Yeah, they just concede. This deck is really strong. Okay. Same thing here. Again, I think Fry is better. Let's go get these pillars out of here. Go down to 2 Unholy Heat. Just to kill their planeswalkers mostly, and like a NATO. Go down to Phoenix. Go down to looting. And then the last cuts were the crash throughs. I guess I'm fine keeping 2 Soul Guide Lantern. I don't know if that's worth. But you can try it. It cycles at least. It's kind of like better than Crash Through, just in the sense that it cycles for 2 mana and it's an artifact for Delirium. So kind of like keeping that aspect in the deck. I think this is actually a mulligan. Let's just try to do better. All right, this is much, much better. That was a pretty easy bottom of Unholy Heat there, because it's only really good in this matchup once they have like a Planeswalker, which they can't have this early in the game. All right. Guess this card is just seeing a ton of play. I mean, it's a really good card. Can answer a 2 mana threat for 1 mana. It's just solid. Do I want to leave up Lapse, or do I want to just play Channeler plus another spell? I think I want to just resolve Channeler. I guess I'll just opt. Could exile something from your yard. Just get that out of there. Bottom that as well. Channeler just being so good. You can just control your draw steps so well. And they're just leave you up a Lapse or something. I kind of want to leave up Lapse as well. I think I will. Just go Soul Guide Lantern Surveil. I'm down to draw that. Oh, I have to exile something. I always forget about this. So annoying. Just farther away from turning this Channeler on, but we have a lot of instants, so. Gotta watch out for NATO from them as well. I'll probably just pop Relic if they don't do anything. They're missing a land draw? Jeez. Unlike Jeskai, I don't really have to watch out for Helix. Do need to watch out for Day of Judgment, though. I feel like they likely have that. I'm just going to lead on Opt. So I cannot click on my graveyard. I have land, artifact, instant. I think I'm down to wait, what happened to my Surveil? Oh, I think I topped on the Surveil. That's unfortunate. And drawing a land was fine there anyway. I think it would have worked out identically. All right, let's just attack for 1, play second Channeler, and then this way if they Wrath, I can at least Lapse it. Oh man, I said I was going to watch out for this and I just didn't. And this is actually okay, because now this Channeler is turned on, and I essentially play around Wrath. I said I was supposed to play around this, and I just didn't, but I want it with literally all the card styles possible. Archmage's Charm, gain control of this. Let's just Lapse it. Maybe we can draw into like a Mystical Dispute or something. Iteration. I can just cast Phoenix, hit for 4. If they want to Archmage Charm the Channeler next turn, they can. Alright, let's do it. If I get Wrath, I get Wrath. It sucks, but Archmage Charm is annoying. Yep. This is looking rough. There's a Spell Pierce. Okay. Oh, God. I guess I'm taking Spireball if I'm not casting Looting yet. Maybe I should have taken the other land so I had hard cast Mystical up. Probably a mistake. It's looting now. Can discard this land. Okay. Pass the turn. I can end of turn bounce the Portable Hole, but I can't really counter it. Spell Pierce this. I think I'd rather save Mystical. I can always hardcast Mystical. Spell Pierce gets dead more quickly. Just gonna cast the Borrower. This card's actually been pretty solid. It might be better now than it used to be. I'm going to attack and then play Chandra with Mystical up. So my draws have been pretty good here. I think this deck is just solid. Dovin's Veto. Well, Can't mystical that. Hopefully they try to play like a 5 fairy here. Nice. If we draw land, we can just looting. Lead on opt. That doesn't do anything right now. Ugh. Jeez, disgusting. I think I'll just hold the passage for now. Could have played it to thin, but I don't love that. Let's see. That was a pretty mediocre turn. Deck and stone. Fine with that. Should have played the land. Elspeth's Son's Nemesis. That card doesn't seem that good. Guess it's like fine. Deck and stone also seems pretty bad. Well, definitely should have played the land last turn. Could have cracked the token on their turn. Alright, let's just kill the Planeswalker. I guess then they can just escape it. So maybe it is a good card. They can escape it minus, hit for a bunch of damage, or just make more 1/1s. They can also even just gain 5 if they want, but I doubt they're going to do that. Yeah, and if I had more mana, maybe I could have Spell Pierced. Yeah, this is a lesson in always play your land instead of bluffing, but I wasn't bluffing. I was just like, if I draw Faith this way, I'd rather have the land. They do gain 5. I just want to cash it in for a gain 5? That's weird. Alright, not really playing around Wrath here. Surprised they just didn't like either make 2 more 1/1s or... That doesn't have a plus, right? No. But they could have just minused 1 and then had a Planeswalker on 4 loyalty against a Phoenix. Oh wow, that was such a good draw. No veto. No veto. Nice. Okay, we can still win this game. I don't know how many answers in blue-white there is to a Planeswalker once it's resolved. Especially Chandra's a good one with a couple counters back. Looking great. Can't believe we might win this game. Cast this. Elspeth, you're gone. I think I'll crack to draw right now. Could cast draw something that I want to cast like that. This deck just feels great. Oh yeah, do I want one Planeswalker or 2 in the main? Ooh, that is good. That kills my Chandra. Okay, game on. Archmage's Charm. I can't allow this. I'm still losing this game now. Had a chance, but looking bad now. They're gonna attack and kill Chandra for sure. Yeah. Oh, I could have blocked. Why didn't I block? For some reason, I was thinking I couldn't block. Yeah, and they're playing around the Spell Pierce. Brutal. Alright, I might as well just Spell Pierce this. I get to Surveil, counter it. And then with the Archmage's Charm, this is just not enough. I mean, we weren't supposed to win this game, and we have a chance. We had a chance, and we still do have a chance. All right. I should have graveyarded that. Damn. I was thinking I could draw it next turn, but yep, still playing pretty loose here. Just graveyard that. Okay, there's Unholy Heat. Wow. Can I just get there? I think I can. They can steal my Channeler, but wow, I might just be able to come back still because I get to kill their Narset. And then they steal Channeler, and that's all they have. Wow. Timely reinforcements into Steel Channeler. Start with minus. go to combat. They're going to steal. Oh, we missed. Brutal. And our draws have been incredible, so can't complain. Oh, wow, they're not stealing. Interesting. Okay, now they steal. I don't fully understand, but all right. So I think Narset to hand, exile Fabled Passage. Could Memory Lapse to hand, exile Narset, play it. I actually like that better. Yeah, I'm sure I want to cast it. Keep the 1 on 5, minus, soak up some damage. Oh, iteration is good. Might need Unholy Heat for the DRC though. And then they get to kill the Narset. That's true regardless. What if I just take iteration? I just have to take this. I'm actually going to just let them draw a card because they might not send everything at Narset. They might send stuff at me. All right. So I just let this happen now. Then I can Unholy Heat whenever. Yeah, let's just do it now. Still have this looting, can discard lands. There's a Phoenix. It's actually pretty good. Do I have any Phoenix in the yard? I don't think I do. Oh, I have one. Oh, two? So hard to see on this. One. I think one. I guess we'll find out. Sprite Dragon top. I have Memory Lapse, so it's just Sprite Dragon attack for 1, pass with Memory Lapse up. It's crazy that we still might win this game and actually kind of ahead here. I know they have Castle of Antris, but just the fact that we have Memory Lapse helps a lot. Can Time Walk them once. Put a counter on Sprite Dragon, cast Phoenix. If they just Wrath here, I'm going to let it resolve, actually. Okay. Now I'm going to go cast Phoenix, hit for 4. Just hold up Memory Lapse, not play the land because I'm going to flashback looting. Could have also just gone for flashback looting, discard Phoenix plus land. Oh god, they top deck. Oh no, they scryed into that. All right. Well, now we just lose. Can't counter a shark. That was brutal. They're not attacking with the 7/7. They just don't. They just feel like they don't even need to. Okay. Let's lead on looting. And wow, not going to be able to bring back a million Phoenix. That is unfortunate. If I attack, they're going to block. I'm just not going to attack. Maybe they attack next turn with Shark and I can block plus fry it. Bottom, bottom. They didn't want to scry on upkeep. Second Vantress. It's actually pretty good. They want to hit for 2 to just lose the soldier. I think they're trying to not attack. Okay. Dragon, go. Guess I'm playing this. I think we only have 2 Phoenix in the deck right now, if I'm not mistaken. The good news is I can like pseudo time walk them. by memory lapsing, but these Vantresses are kind of making up for that. I need Fry to kind of deal with this. I think we've already used Borrower this game. Can't find anything in this graveyard. I think we already have. Deck and Stone on that. Yeah, let that resolve. They have like a million mana. Draw card. It's a land, sure. Another land, not ideal. I mean, we're definitely not winning from here. They can just find another NATO and then kill us. One top, one bottom. Not great. Oh, man. These control matches take like 3 or 4 times as long as like most standard matches do. Dovin's Veto. Well, this can't be countered either. All right. It's enough. I had enough. Don't think that really does anything except enable Delirium, so I'll just have one. Can have one more Phoenix. I want all the counters. I think I'll just have another Phoenix as like something that's just another threat that I can cast, or if I have one of the lootings, I can discard it, but I just want like maximum number of threats here, basically. This will probably be the last match. It's going on about 2 hours. So I'll probably end it after this match because these last 2 matches have been so long. All right, we got him. We're on the play here. This is not good, but I think I'm just supposed to keep. Narset's strong. Can cast a Phoenix. They mulligan. This hand might just not be good enough, but we'll see. Just lead on Steam Vents. They lead on tapped Hallowed Fountain, and that was a great draw. Now, if they want to play a Portable Hole or something to answer this, yeah, then I just get to resolve Narset. Unless they have untapped land Mystical, which they might have. Gonna jam, though. Don't do it. Nice. Against blue-white, definitely just minus. Yep, they know about Mystical, but that is fine. Wow, these draws are good. I'll take another Narset. Just in case they deal with the first one. Channeler and passive double counter up. Nice. Looking good. Portable Hole with mana to pay for Mystical. I think I just lapsed this actually, just because it's like kind of a time walk in a way for them, and I get to surveil. Let's not draw land. Wouldn't be that bad to draw land, but I still think this is good. Oh, they foretell Behold the Multiverse or something? Sure. I don't want to play into Wrath, so I think I'm just going to play Soul Guide Lantern. Just graveyard that. We'll draw lands naturally. I'll have to exile one of my own cards, classic. And then I think I just attack for 1 and pass. I just want to leave up Hardcast Mystical. I can always crack this end of turn. Yep, resolves. Portable Holes are actually just really good. All right, let's draw. Nice. Iteration is a great draw. Love to see it. Let's cast it now. Veto would be annoying. Okay, these are actually great. So let's go take looting to hand, exile the opt, play opt looking for second Phoenix, and then, okay, I think this is just a good enough card in the matchup that I can just top it. And then go play this as an island, and then looting. Still have Mystical up as well. Discard Phoenix. And Fry, I think. And then just bring back Phoenix. I'd rather have Mystical up here also than cast Channeler, I think, so we'll just leave up Mystical. And even if they like Wrath or something, I can bring this back. Deck and Stone. Maybe that's why they have Deck and Stone, because the exile they think is worth it. All right, I think I'm gonna go Sprite Dragon into Iteration here. Seems like they don't have much. Oh man, this is tempting to take a Chandra. I think that might just be better than Iteration. I think it might be better. Fly in here. Let's take Chandra to hand, exile the opt, play opt. Try to hit an untapped blue source here would be nice. Okay, we don't, but even if they deal with this, I don't really care. My hand is stacked. They Wrath. Okay, I'm totally fine with that. They concede, yeah. Just have 7 cards in hand. That was nice. All right, we rank up to, are we Diamond now? Or no, we're Plat, and then Diamond, then Mythic. All right, we got a long way to go. Let's play one more and hope to not play against Control, because it won't be quite as long. I want to play one more match. God, we've played like, what, 5 or 6 matches, and we've only killed like 12 creatures or something. Just nobody plays creatures anymore, or what? Okay. Just getting some arena value here, just grinding the ladder. Doesn't really give you anything, but sure. I mean, arena's eventually the future, right? I like to build up my account. All right. No companion. Opponent is nice. Turn 1 Channeler. Let's go. They went Blooming Marsh Pass. It's just Abzan. Oh, this is probably the combo deck. Nice. I did want to see this deck. Awesome. I'm not too worried. I'm just going to Sprite Dragon, attack with everything, and then deal with this later because it's just too efficient to play Sprite Dragon right now, I think. All right, let's see. I might want to stop on upkeep to surveil for a land because then I can play 2 removal spells and looting. No, I have an island out. Double Blood Artist doesn't really bother me. Just draw a card. Okay, it's another red source that's actually pretty good. I guess we lead on Pillar, Surveil, and then this is actually pretty good in the matchup too, but doesn't allow us to Phoenix this turn. I think I can just graveyard. All right, now let's go red source, looting. I hit a 1-mana blue card like an opt. All right, let's graveyard that. We don't. Damn. Okay. Unfortunate, but not the end of the world. And Soul Guide Lantern should be good. I think this is the best full art combo. I didn't make myself clear enough, but we just turn this on. So I have to exile sorcery, or just I guess the land is fine. Yeah, so this is, I don't even know what that mechanic is actually called. It's like permanently give something -2/-2 or something like that. And then Vesper keeps bringing itself back and you combo for the win, but they just didn't hit lands. So they're just looks like a like black, green, white Vesper combo. So I think I want 3 Soul Guide Lantern. I think Anger is pretty good. That's all I really want. I don't think I need to over sideboard. This fly is just buzzing around me, pretty annoying. I think sticking with the Phoenix plan in this matchup is gonna be fine. It's a little awkward with the Angers, but I think Anger is solid as well. Can just side out Crash through. I don't know if you can see this fly going around on the cam, but just so annoying. Just side out 3 cards. Want all the removal. I guess Brazen Bar is like not that great. Just doesn't do exactly what we want. I think Lapse is actually good. I'll just side out the Crash Throughs. Just the worst card, I think. Okay, let's just take out this combo player here. Their draw just wasn't really functional in game 1. What, this is like our 6th match or so, and we haven't lost. We've lost 1, I mean. Yeah, this is fine. So I think we're 4-1 or 5-1 at the moment. Okay, Soul Horn. So they are definitely going for the infinite life. I can just pillar that right now. Kind of want to pillar a Vespelark if they like ever tap out for it, but whatever. I'm just down to kill this. Just if they have that and Blood Artist, it might like make more sense to not kill it. Yeah, try to deal with the Vespelark, but it's tough to say. Tough to say. Right, let's go looting. There's Anger. Perfect. Discard 1 land and another copy of looting. Then I'll just play a Fabled Passage, pass the turn. And then I can just Anger next turn. I'm wishing I didn't kill that now, obviously, but hindsight's 2020. Okay. Well, probably just Anger their board now. They can sack their 2 creatures to scry a little bit, but still going to be good to just Anger them. They might even just concede this, just depending on how they're feeling. They conceded pretty quick in game 1, that's all. Then we have the Soul Guide Lantern, nice. They get to scry 2. Top, okay. This is the Liliana sleeves. The new art of Liliana. Is that right? Is that Lily? Yeah. It's like the Lily with the different name. Okay. Let's just go with Sprite Dragon, Soul Guide Lantern, tap land, and then next turn start firing off iterations. Wow, Coco right now. Double Celebrant. Oh, they have so many of these effects. Soul Guide Lantern's just going to be great, though. Oh, their other stuff got exiled. I see. Okay, let's just exile Soul Warden. Then attack. Yeah, and then if they ever get the Vesper combo, when it's in the graveyard with the trigger returning it on the stack, it can just exile Soul Guide Lantern. Exile it with Soul Guide Lantern. There's the Lark. Okay. I have pillars in my deck as well, so they're looking to be in a pretty bad spot. Oh, perpetually give this -2/-2. It's perpetually, that's what it is. Okay. Let's lead on iteration. They have to deal with the Lantern and then have the combo. There's Anger. Okay, well, let's go Anger to hand. I mean, I suppose I'm playing this. And then attack for 3. Just not going to pop Soul Guide Lantern basically no matter what. Unless they like kill it with something. If they had like a way to kill this plus combo, then I guess we lose, but they need 2 things, yeah. Ooh, I can actually just, when this leaves, return target creature card So I can just deal with the Vesper Arc right now permanently. Oh, I don't have flying. Oh, this says flying. Okay, okay, okay. No blocks. Maybe should have just saved 1 damage, but whatever. Okay, they do have the Withering. Wow. This doesn't work, though, if I understand correctly, because I have the Soul Guide Lantern. So, resolves. And then trigger on the stack, targeting Vesper Arc. And I just exile each opponent's graveyard right now. That would be infinite, though. Okay, nice. Nice, got him. I was thinking about playing this deck too. I would need to spend a lot of wild cards, and I don't think I'd build it exactly like they had it. They had like so many of the Lifegain trigger effects in the deck. All right, that was a lot of fun. Let's go to the deck. We only lost 1 match there. Won all the other matches. Deck feels honestly really solid. I didn't play that well, but didn't play that poorly either. Just played reasonably. So climbed the ladder a little bit. Moving forward with the deck, pull it up here. Again, I could have like 1 Planeswalker in the main deck. Don't know if these crash throughs are necessary, but a 1 mana spell is just good with the Phoenixes and it draws a card. Again, I'm not saying that this build is like perfect by any means, but just working on the deck. If I did play a Planeswalker, let's see what we would want to play. Let's just do a search for Planeswalker, type Planeswalker, not collected, blue and red Planeswalkers. So, I mean, the best ones are probably going to either be Jace or Chandra, but let's just check. There's Teferi, Narset. I think these other ones are just not quite as good. Definitely not Mordenkainen. Let's see, Chandra Torch of Defiance, 4 mana. Chandra Heart of Fire go big? No, I don't think like that's really what you want for these decks. You want like cheaper cards, which I think is why I like the Planeswalkers in the sideboard, but could play 1 Narset or 1 Torch of Defiance main. Don't hate that. Again, just to have another type of card for Channeler, and it's just a good card in general. But the Phoenixes were fine. Mostly Channeler was very good as expected. Sprite Dragon was still good. We only had 12 threats, but it felt like we had a lot of threats just because we had so much like card selection. Unholy Heat was also very good. Don't even know if you need the pillars at this point, but it's nice just to have a couple extra removal spells, and I think Unholy Heat or Pillar is the best option after Unholy Heat. So I don't know what changes I would make moving forward. Added a couple of braids. Sideboard still seems decent. I have to look at like all the new cards added to Historic Horizons, but this was a lot of fun. Oh, sorry, my picture's been blocky. I didn't even realize. I think I can do this. Yeah, sorry, I should have done this. My bad. Still new on Arena. Here's the list. Everything still stands, but channel youtube.com/snapbolt. Go check it out. Sub to the channel. Lot of Popper, Historic now, Modern. Magic's great. Sub. Thank you so much. Till next time. Peace.